Hi class, welcome to week 3. We are already almost halfway through our course. Make sure that you are staying on task and keeping up with the assignments. These 5 weeks go by so fast and you don't want to get too far behind. For this week, week 3, our readings are listed in Brightspace, and the most important way to spend your time is going to be on reading the textbook chapters for this week. This first chapter on power, you are going to need information from that in order to answer the discussion question. And then on crisis leadership, this is going to be the focus of our paper this week. There's also some suggested readings if you're interested or have some extra time. Okay, so our Module 3 discussion, we are going to be talking about sources of power and position. We are going to be discussing the differences between legitimate, reward, coercive, and referent power. These are types of power that were established by the researchers French and Raven. Let's see, in your textbook, this is chapter 5 that you're going to be reading this week, and it goes through a nice, clear explanation of these types of power. There's actually 5 types of power that French and Raven established, but for some reason the discussion isn't asking you about expert power, so we can just focus on the other 4. They give very clear explanations of them and show some ways they are similar and different. So you're going to explain how they're similar and different and describe your experiences with each type of power. Make sure that you're using information from your text to support your post and even your post to your classmates. We're all here to demonstrate what we've learned and encourage people to learn in other ways. So the best way to increase your discussion score is to incorporate information from your text and other research sources on power, on whatever the discussion topic is of the week. Okay, then your paper is on crisis leadership. And basically you're going to be identifying and describing a business crisis situation. This could be something in the news. This could be something that you have experienced. I tend to think something from the news is a little more interesting, gives you an excuse to read up on some current events, and I usually learn something too, and I think it's fun. So you're going to be describing the crisis situation, going through a SWOT analysis, which we did last week in our discussion. Going to look at a SWOT analysis for the leaders who are managing the crisis. Then, assuming you're a leader, recommend ways that you could ensure you have a clear view of the risks across the organization. Identify a risk management process. I was looking through the text to see where this section would be in the chapter 12 on crisis leadership. Here is a look at a 5-step crisis risk assessment model. That's going to be the same thing there that you're looking for with the risk management process. Again, this is in chapter 12, which is your other reading for the week. So you're going to go through the risk management process you would employ to mitigate risks. Mitigate just means to lessen them. Recommend what you would do to ensure the process is working the way you expect, and then describe ways to identify and manage uncertainties. So I would recommend, this paper is similar to your other papers in that there's lots of different sections. With your other papers, I recommend you use headers. Same thing here, use a header to make sure that you are answering the information from each section. It helps you stay organized. It helps me know what section you're trying to tackle. If your paper doesn't have headers, honestly, it's a lot harder for me to grade. I want to give you the most number of points that I can, and it's very helpful to have the headers. This is your first big assignment, so it's worth 200 points, so make sure you plan ahead of time. If you're not going to be done by the due date, you need to contact me ahead of time. to let me know that your paper is going to be late and give me an idea of how much extra time you need. I'm happy to work with you guys, but I do need you to communicate prior to the due dates if your paper is not going to be in. Let me know if you have any other questions. This paper I would expect to be at least 6 to 8 pages. If you're ending up with 3 pages of text, and this is 6 to 8 pages, not counting references and title page. If you have less than that, it probably means you didn't go into enough detail on a section. So that is really just a guide for you to know how you're doing. If you have 5 pages and you really feel like you have thoroughly answered every question, that's fine. Don't stretch it and add extra just to get to the 6 pages. It's really just a good indicator for you. If you have half this number of pages, you probably don't have enough detail. I'm looking for at least 3 scholarly sources. These are scholarly sources again, not Wikipedia, not anything that ends in .com. We're looking for scholarly things, and you must have information from your textbook as well. Please let me know if you have any questions. I'm here. You can text me, you can call me, you can email me. I'm here to help.